Hi, my friend. I would like for you to trust yourself more than any YouTube video, more than any book you read, more than any teacher on the internet. Your intuition is golden. Your ideas of where to go, your natural desires and your natural attraction to some teachers' techniques are golden. They are guidance for what works best for you. Some of your aversion, some of your distraction, some of your avoidance of certain techniques and teachers and sharings and videos and books are also guidance. Guidance for you to not go to certain spaces that are not meant for you. There's a lot of different worlds in spirituality, we could say, or in self-development. And a lot of them are not relevant for you. They don't make sense to you. They don't spark joy. So they're not relevant to you. Others do spark joy or feel like a calling, or you can't help but Google, or you can't help but get into it, or you can't not watch certain videos. That's guidance, my friend. And that's something to honor. So, of course, everything is layered. And of course, some things that you fear are actually meant for you. It's an anticipatory fear. It's not a fear with a bad feeling. It's like a fear with, I'm afraid to do it, but I know it will be all right. But I know it will be okay. That's a sort of protection mechanism, a protection of the ego, or something like that. Sometimes we want to distract ourselves not to look into that which wants to be seen, because we don't want that transformation yet, because we don't want to elevate our consciousness yet. We don't want to take responsibility for our own thoughts and feelings. And even though there's no personal responsibility and there's no person, there's definitely something, let's call it source itself, that is learning through the human experience. And that is seeing that some things work for this character or some things don't. There's no one choosing that, but there is a way where we learn and optimize. It's something that does itself, we could say. But it is something to honor. It's something to look at, be with, and it's very important. Of course, in my journey also, teachers have really helped me. Books and videos have really helped me. But in the end, sitting with your own feelings, thoughts, deconstructing beliefs, interpretations, that's something you do yourself. And of course, again, a teacher can assist with this, but you do the work. You awaken yourself, and it happens by itself through our natural inclinations. Some people are just wired to do this because they're interested in spirituality and they allow themselves to go there. They allow themselves to go all the way, even at all personal cost sometimes. And that's fine. because it's totally meant for them to go all the way. But then when there's no self or no personal self or no self-identification, even then we find ourselves back in the same situation with nobody there, maybe, but definitely something there. It's not the person, but it's life itself. And life itself that's actually very eager to learn, very eager to create nice circumstances, very eager to engage with the quote-unquote personal life or the quote-unquote relative. I can imagine not for everybody, because it comes in many flavors. But that's what I find here, that there's a lot of joy to just explore the relative, to just be with my family, to have lots of fun. And to enjoy the daily grind, you could say, although it doesn't feel like a grind anymore because there's nothing grinding against anything. But it's just natural movement, to enjoy the natural movement of life again and again and again. That is freedom. So nirvana is samsara, meaning this life. You could say the personal life without the person is still almost the same life, but it's just seen to be source playing itself out through the character and having fun and expanding through that. I call it source because, and it's not one point. It's not a source. It's unlimited sourcing, you could say. It's unlimited potential expressing itself as something, as this statue over here of a Chinese god of compassion, I thought it was, as this stone, as this nose, as everything. Pure freedom, pure freedom. In apparent or seeming forms. The formless is expressing itself through form. And so form and formless, emptiness and fullness, is one experience. It's one thing. But that one aspect, that emptiness aspect, that formless aspect, becomes very freaking clear when there's no form of self, even though there's still the body and the mind and the five aggregates, right? Feeling, consciousness, sensations, things like that. And don't remember the five aggregates, you can Google that yourself, but meaning reality, right? Thoughts, feelings, sensations, etc. And everything is sensation. Everything we notice in form is just different textures, which we can label. But there's no need for a label. Just perfection. And I encourage you to explore this and all these labels without any idea of how this should be. And the wonder you can find is that the formless is really in form somehow. Somehow it's in form. It feels so real. And it is real in a way, because everything is real or everything is unreal. Sorry. That's just a label, of course. It's so freaking interesting. And after the self dropped here, I noticed that I was wandering empty space a little bit. And that I found myself finding my interpretations that make me happy. This character, this expression of source becomes happy by certain interpretations of life and doesn't become happy when we do other interpretations. So, and you cannot not interpret. I mean, otherwise you're just empty floating and kidding yourself, because you still have contact in the world. And unless you go to a cave, then there is some you conceptualize something to talk about something. I find myself using concepts, and also internally I find myself using the loving concepts, because I feel good with that. And I remember that for me, which again I think is source, right? This is just this unlimitedness. But that wants to express here through this sort of Kees vehicle in a way where it wants to enjoy itself. It doesn't want to only sit and be quiet and be empty. It wants to laugh. It wants to have fun. It wants to, enjoy this ride and do something with this ride and not only sit still. Because in the last 10 years, I spent a lot of time sitting, and it felt very attractive. But right now, this wants to just do something else. It wants to enjoy the relative, you could say. Because the absolute is the relative. But after the self dropped, I see the absolute in the relative. And before, there was something that wanted to create an inner world, or wanted to rest back in meditation in that inner world. Much love to you, my friend. And enjoy yourself. Bye.